George, opening day of the season then, it's always an exciting one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're happy with our Prem Cup period. I think we've exposed a lot of players and a lot of lads have put their hands up. But there is a shift now. There's the Premiership's here, it's back, and obviously we welcome Quins again for the second time in a couple of weeks. So very exciting.
And looking back on that Premiership Cup campaign, 5 wins out of 5, that's pretty much all you can ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we approached that to try and win every game, but we also approached it with the players' minutes mapped out very specifically and making sure we got to see every player we wanted to see and give every young player an opportunity to put their hands up. Some of them have been working 3 hard years to get that opportunity, and they've had bits and pieces. So it was really important to us that we balanced that well. We got everybody out there, and I felt we did that, and I felt that was fully respected and repaid back by some of the young players.
Yeah, how important do you think that valuable game time will be going forward, not just for this season, but for a few seasons to come?
I think it's really important. I don't think you can, really have success without a properly competitive squad. And as I've said a couple of times, we've been working really hard for 3 years on a core group of players who we believe will take this club forward for many years to come. And I think those guys are really coming through now. And that's great for the lads who have been here a little bit longer, bit more experienced. It gives them proper competition. It gives them proper, training's very, very intense and very, very competitive. And I think that will push us on.
And it must have been really pleasing to see them not just making the numbers, but really stepping up, playing well, and winning games.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the really young guys, Archie and Affo, for instance, coming off the bench at Saracens away, Quins at home, and closing out games in big pressure moments, and we backed them to do that, and they delivered that. And I think those sort of experiences at such a young age are really, really gold. And some of the lads a little bit further down the line in the academy who got to start against these teams and delivered and felt the intensity of it. It's what it's all about.
And looking ahead to the Premiership season then, how much can the boys take that confidence into the Premiership?
Yeah, I mean, look, we know that the Premiership is a different beast, and it's very, very intense, and it will start this week and it will go week to week, and there's not much relief in between that. But I think the guys they know what they're capable of, they know what we want to achieve, they know what we want to do. Our processes are in place, and I think it's important that whichever team gets to start this weekend against Harlequins, they know there's a lot of competition, and they're the lads back to do it this week, and I've got full confidence they'll rip into it and work really, really hard.
Yeah, you mentioned Harlequins coming up. That's always an entertaining fixture, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had lots of tough battles against Harlequins over the last few years. They're a very good team, fully respect them. They gave us a good game here a couple of weeks ago, and every Premiership outing we've had with them in recent times has been very, very tough. So, there's a few slight tweaks there at their camp, and so they'll be slightly different animal, I imagine, as the season goes on. But we definitely know it's going to be an intense game.
And obviously there's been a few tweaks over the off-season with the likes of Likes and a few new players coming in. How much are you looking forward to seeing those come off in Premiership action?
Yeah, I think now, we do start the Premiership, so, the week-to-week demands, as I say, are big, and I think, we've worked really hard to install Lights' systems, and, TR, who's come in and working with Timmy over the young lads, there's a lot of things we've put in place around different groups and within the squad, and I think we're very clear on how we want to play now, very clear on, as I say, what we want to do and what we want to get out of this season. But yeah, we need to do it on the weekend, and then we need to do it every weekend after that. So the challenge is big. The Prem is a massive competition, and we know that the margins are small. But I'm very confident in this group that they're going to be working extremely hard, and I'm very confident we've got the processes in place, to get us where we want to go.
And obviously opening the Premiership here at Kingsholm, I guess it doesn't take a lot to motivate the lads in occasions like that.
No, and I think, we've had a few good games here over the last few weeks, and, the crowds have still been big, but I think we know, come a Premiership weekend, especially a Premiership opener, what it'll be like. And again, we talk about it a lot internally, and no one takes it for granted how lucky we are that the crowds turn up and scream and shout, and it's such a good place to play rugby. There's nowhere better in the English Premiership to be playing rugby, and the boys know that.
And finally, a word on your captain, Lewis Ludlow, set to make his 200th Gloucester appearance. against Harlequins. So how important has he been during your time here? And yeah, just can you give us a few words about Lewis?
Yeah, Lewis has been brilliant. He's a leader. I obviously made him captain. It was one of the first things I did when I came to the club after observing for a couple of weeks. I could see what he was about, and that he bleeds cherry and white. And you're going to get what's on the tin with lads. He's not going to mince his words. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks, and he's going to lead by example. Which, ultimately your actions on a game day, your actions in training, are the most important thing to be a leader, because otherwise talk is cheap. But I think lads, he leads like that. He talks well. I think he's really grown into to being the leader of this club, and I think we're very lucky to have him, and the boys respond to him. So I feel very, very lucky that he's alongside, and we work very closely together to make sure we get the right messaging, and we trust each other.
And obviously, over the last few weeks, there's been a couple of young captains in Arthur and Harry. What's the role that Luds plays with them?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got a senior leadership group, and we've got a sort of emerging leaders, and there's a lot of emerging leaders, and obviously Harry and Arthur are two of those, and they've had the opportunity to captain the club, and I thought that was important to give those younger lads the opportunity to lead. There's lots that's going to happen in their careers, and hopefully they go on the trajectory we think they will. But it's a real privilege to captain this club in any fixture, especially at King's Home. And I think those boys have had that experience, and they'll be really beneficial experience for them going down the line.
Cheers, George. All the best.
Thanks a lot.